Now, the rest of the story.
Doesn't that look so nice? Well, here's the situation. Planning on starting corn here basically as soon as I get out of the 46. Listening to the horses rumble. Oh, don't kid yourself. If you guys had the ability to put a 4640 on a little bitty harrow, you'd do it too. Because air conditioning and a comfortable seat definitely trumps fuel usage and having too much horsepower and everything like that, because I have never gotten into a situation pulling a piece of equipment and go, oh my gosh, you know, I got 100 more horsepower than I really need to do this job. No, it never really bothered me. I really gotta say that I'm feeling pretty comfortable doing exactly this. So we're getting rid of the contours. I know, sounds terrible, but it's going to allow us to farm the home farm a little bit more efficiently and not have so many point rows, and you know, even the rows where it's corn and beans, you got to worry about the chemicals overspraying onto your beans or your corn and kills your corn out because you're trying to get rid of volunteer beans, and the wind's blowing in the wrong direction just as the sprayer's coming through and knocks it out. What I'm doing, I just want to get the outline of this field finished up, so that way Dale will be here in the morning. He's going to run this for me. She's going to harrow all of this, all of the corn acres at the home farm. If I can get the outline done for him so he knows, you know, the boundaries of where he has to run, he should be sitting good. I have a bunch of ground that is partially already worked, partially no-till. I mean, it's actually got a little bit of both on it, that I can go and get that planted while he is doing this. And then at some point tomorrow I'll come back, get this place planted, then probably head down to my place and probably knock out all with what I plan on doing tonight. Get 70, 90, probably 150 to 200 acres done relatively in short order here. The biggest thing that's going to slow me down is having to throw bags, and just the logistics of finding the nearest vehicle to get back to the seed supply back at home. It just depends where all the help is. With Dad's busy, Brian's busy, Dale's here, we're keeping him busy. Essentially, when it comes to running the planter, if no one else is around, I am effectively on my own, and that really only slows me down just long enough to fill everything up on that planter. I'm pretty well convinced though, those seed boxes for the Sure Speed, because we're not running the original deer boxes, I'm pretty confident that while they might not hold as much as the original boxes with the extensions on them, I do believe that they hold more. I'm gonna almost say, let's just split the difference and say that it probably holds somewhere in the middle. Not quite as much as the original with the seed box extensions, but I definitely feel like it holds more than just the standard original boxes. So I think that's fair. But we had an inch and 3/10 of rain the other night. All this is doing, like you see these ridges and whatnot, leveling everything off so the planter can run that much smoother, do that much of a better job of getting everything planted. You can see where I was turning around with the planter here. Definitely got some moisture locked in it yet. So going dragging the hair over it, kind of help dry that out just a little bit. Small chance of rain Thursday night, but I think it's exactly that. I think it's a small chance, not to where, kind of like when I was planting beans, enough to be annoying, but not enough to really make you have to stop. And to be completely honest, I'm hoping as long as we can keep getting the liquid fertilizer and everything, I'd really like to think we can be pretty well done with corn here by the weekend. And I think that's a very, very real possibility. Oh. Should have slowed down there. That's the nice thing too about having too much horsepower, is that I don't have to run this wide open to do an effective job. I can actually throttle up, shift down, and it's like it's not even back there, which is what I'd rather have. I mean, because realistically, who wants to put the 40/20 on this and eat dirt all day? My buddy's planting with a 43/20 with the year-round cabs, just like our 40. Not exactly like our 40/20, like the loader 40/20 my grandpa had, and he's trying to figure out any way possible to get rid of it. Not necessarily get rid of that tractor, because they use all 8 or 9 of the tractors that they have, but he's ready to find something that he can get for a planting and manure hauling and spraying tractor. But it's something he wants something with front wheel assist and the narrow tires and set up for 30-inch rows. So I mean, nobody likes to eat dirt, not if you don't have to. And we're currently sitting to where we don't really have to. We put 150 hours in the 40/20 last year, and I'm perfectly fine with it staying at 150 or less. I mean, I'm not even sure how much more cultivating I'm going to be going forward here. Maybe I want to do my trial on my corn on corn one more year. But then after that, I'm just really trying to come to terms with the idea of, is it really worth getting it out just to do 14 acres? Because that 14 acres is a farm where we can't wide drop. See, when I started doing the side dressing with the cultivator, the big reason I wanted to do it was to open the soil up, kind of get air down to the roots. Okay, well then it transformed into putting the liquid on the cultivator and then going through and side dressing our corn. Well, the whole point of doing that is trying to get our nitrogen down in season as late as possible, because the plant doesn't use as much nitrogen early on as you'd like to think. It actually uses a very heavy share of the nitrogen that it goes through towards tassel, or at tassel. So my logic always was I had about 70 acres where they couldn't wide drop it. Really not a huge fan on broadcasting urea because it burns the plant so much. Not really seeing that it really affected yields too much, but my problem is the amount of dollar signs, you know, the amount of urea that you're actually having to broadcast to get the results that you need, because it's really inefficient. You're just throwing it out there and hoping for a rain. Well, at least when you're wide dropping liquid right next to the plant, it's putting it right next to the roots, you're essentially getting all the money back out of that nitrogen that you're really looking to get. And that's what I want. I don't like wasting money. And that's really what it would feel like. It would be wasting money. So the more you can try to manage your operation, the better, and how you're trying to, you know, get your inputs down and get your crops in. I'm really excited for planting, getting the corn in. Not all of our ground, but I have 4 fields in particular that Andrew just left. He put a prescription map into the monitor, so the planter with those electronic drives is going to increase and decrease the population depending on previous year's harvest data, which generally shows your better yielding parts of the field, so you can actually increase your population. At least on the one field in particular, it was anywhere from 32,000 seeds per acre all the way up to 38,000 seeds per acre. Seems kind of excessive. I mean, I was talking to a local guy, and he asked me what I was planting, and this was a couple of years ago, and at the time it's like, oh, at least the stuff on my best running ground, it's 38,000 seeds per acre. He kind of looked at me weird. He says, really, that high? It's like, yeah. I mean, why? What are you generally running? He's like 32, 34. But it also is your hybrids too. I mean, for the regular old person to come in from town, throw them onto a farm and say, all right, succeed. I mean, your learning curve would be parabolic. There'd be so much you're trying to figure out in such a short amount of time to be able to do it effectively and actually make a profit doing this. It's not like the 50s and 60s and 70s anymore. I mean, I've said it before, and you guys that have watched the channel long enough have heard me say it plenty of times. All the way up until the day he died, Grandpa insisted 150 bushels to the acre. That's a good yield. If I ever get anything 150 bushels to the acre, that's catastrophic to me, because inputs have gone up, cost of operating has gone up. I mean, this equipment isn't exactly cheap to run anymore, you know. Oh, gotta go. All right, well, you can kind of see what I'm aiming for here. This is the stuff that was worked the other day. Dad hit it with a disc. It was rained on with that inch of rain, and then this is the stuff that I just harrowed. Hit it twice when really we're only looking to hit it once. I just wanted to make it, well, as smooth as I could between the field and the sod all the way around it, because sod does not bust up. All sod likes to do is roll. So trying to get it down into smaller clumps as I can, because then I can hit that with the row cleaner and it'll just push it out of the way. But this dry stuff going through it busts up the crust, which there isn't a whole lot there in these clumps. Ideally with the planter that shouldn't be too big of an issue, but I'm also trying to set ourselves up to really have the best chances for the best stand possible. Well, corn prices aren't really that great right now, but that doesn't mean you really want to just throw the seed at the ground and hope for the best either. High yields with low prices at least does take some of the sting out of it, and that's pretty much all we aim for, is, you know, swing for the fence. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and get that planter rolling, at least get it started tonight, so that way in the morning I can hop in it and, well, basically let the horses gallop and try to chew up some acres.